Hey Capricorn, I need to talk to you about something that has probably been weighing on your heart lately. You know that person, the one who keeps crossing your mind when you are trying to focus on other things, the one whose absence still feels like a presence in your life. Whether they walked away, you walked away, or circumstances just pulled you apart, there is this question that keeps circling back. Will they return, or is it finally time to let go and move forward without them? I have pulled cards specifically for you today because the universe has been quite vocal about this situation. And honestly, what came through is not what I expected at all. This reading is going to take us on a journey through some pretty profound territory. We are going to look at where you have been, where they have been, what is actually happening in the energy between you two right now, and what the universe is genuinely guiding you toward. I am not here to tell you what you want to hear. I am here to share what the cards are revealing, and Capricorn, you deserve the full truth so you can make the best decision for your own heart and future. So get comfortable, maybe grab a cup of tea or coffee, and let us dive into what the universe wants you to know about this connection, and whether holding on or letting go is the path that will actually serve your highest good. The first card that came out for you is the Ace of Cups, and I have to tell you, when this card appeared, I felt this wave of emotional energy that was pretty intense. The Ace of Cups is all about new emotional beginnings, pure love, and the opening of the heart to possibilities. This card is telling me that there is still a very real emotional connection here, Capricorn. Whether you want to admit it or not, whether you have been trying to convince yourself that you are over this person, the Ace of Cups is showing that your heart is still open to them on some level. This is not about weakness or being stuck in the past. This is about genuine emotion that has not been fully resolved or closed. What I find interesting here is that the Ace of Cups often represents an offering, like the universe is holding out this cup and asking if you are ready to receive. In the context of your question about whether they will return, this card suggests that there is potential for emotional renewal, but it also asks you something important. Are you willing to start fresh? Would you be able to approach this connection with a new perspective rather than carrying all the old baggage and hurt? The Ace of Cups is not promising that they will definitely come back, but it is saying that emotionally, the door is not completely shut. There is still love here, still possibility, still a channel that remains open between your hearts. I also sense that this card is speaking to your own emotional state right now. You might be in a place where you are finally allowing yourself to feel again, after perhaps closing off or protecting yourself. The Ace of Cups can indicate that you are becoming ready to be vulnerable again, to hope again, even if that feels scary after everything you have been through. Now the Ten of Swords appeared, and I will be honest, when I turned this card over, I had to pause for a moment. The Ten of Swords is one of those cards that can look really intense and difficult, and it represents endings, betrayal, hitting rock bottom, and that moment when you feel completely defeated. This card is acknowledging the pain you have been through, Capricorn. It is validating that whatever happened between you and this person, it genuinely hurt. There was a cycle that ended, possibly in a way that felt sudden or devastating. Maybe there were words that cut deep, actions that felt like betrayal, or simply a realization that was painful to accept. The Ten of Swords is saying, yes, something did die here. A chapter closed, and it closed hard. But here is what people often miss about the Ten of Swords. It appears when the worst is actually over. When you see this card, the painful ending has already happened. The swords are already in your back, metaphorically speaking. You are at the point of maximum darkness, which means the only direction from here is toward the light. This card often comes up before a dawn, before a new beginning can emerge. So in the context of your question, the Ten of Swords is telling me that you needed to reach this point of complete ending in order to actually transform. You needed to feel the full weight of this situation to understand what you truly want and need. This is not a card about them coming back in the old way. This is a card about something old dying completely, so that if anything new is to be born, it will be fundamentally different. The Ten of Swords is also releasing you from the need to keep fighting or struggling. It is saying you can stop now, you can let the old story end, you can surrender to where you are without needing to fix or force anything. The Two of Cups showed up next. And this is where things get really interesting, because this is the relationship card in tarot. The Two of Cups represents partnership, mutual attraction, harmony, and two people coming together in balanced connection. When I see this card in a reading about whether someone will return, it definitely suggests that there is still a strong pull between you two, still that sense of recognition and potential for partnership. The Two of Cups is not just about romantic love, though. It is about genuine connection, about two souls recognizing something in each other that feels significant. What I am picking up here is that the bond between you and this person is real, Capricorn. It is not something you imagined or exaggerated in your mind. There was, and possibly still is, a genuine connection that both of you felt or feel. However, the Two of Cups is also a card about choice and mutual commitment. For this energy to manifest fully, both people need to be willing to show up and choose the connection. One person cannot carry a Two of Cups energy alone. So while this card indicates that reconciliation is absolutely possible, it is also showing that it would require both of you to be in a place where you are ready to meet each other with open hearts and genuine intention. I am getting the sense that there is still communication possible here, or at least the potential for it. The Two of Cups often shows up when there is still telepathic or energetic connection between two people, when you are thinking of them and they are thinking of you, creating this invisible thread that keeps you linked. The question is whether that energetic connection is healthy and serving both of you, or whether it is keeping you tethered to something that needs to evolve or release. The Hanged Man came through, and this card is telling me that there is a period of suspension, waiting, and seeing things from a different perspective that is necessary here. The Hanged Man is that card of being in limbo, of not being able to force action or movement, of needing to surrender to divine timing. Capricorn, I know this is probably not what you want to hear, because you are someone who likes to make decisions, take action, and move forward with purpose. But the Hanged Man is saying that right now, the universe is asking you to pause, to wait, to see this situation from a completely different angle before you make any final decisions. This card suggests that if you try to force an outcome right now, whether that is forcing them to come back or forcing yourself to completely move on, you will be working against the natural flow of what needs to happen. The Hanged Man often indicates that there is a higher perspective you cannot see yet, that time and patience will reveal something important that you are missing from your current vantage point. What I find significant here is that the Hanged Man can also represent sacrifice and letting go of control. It is asking you to release your grip on how you think this should unfold and trust that the universe has a plan that is actually better than anything you could orchestrate. In the context of whether they will return, the Hanged Man suggests that this is not something you can make happen through effort or willpower. If they are meant to come back, it will happen in divine timing when both of you have gained the perspective and growth necessary. If they are not meant to come back, this period of suspension is preparing you to eventually see why that is actually the better outcome. The Hermit appeared, and this card is really speaking to where you are right now on your personal journey, Capricorn. The Hermit is about solitude, inner wisdom, soul searching, and finding your light in the darkness. This card is telling me that regardless of what happens with this person, you are in a phase of your life where you need to turn inward and reconnect with yourself. You have been so focused on this connection, on whether they will return, on what the future holds with them, that you might have lost touch with your own inner guidance and what you actually need for yourself. The Hermit is encouraging you to use this time of uncertainty to go deep within. What do you truly want, not just in this connection, but in your life overall? What have you learned about yourself through this experience? What patterns or beliefs need to be examined and possibly released? The Hermit often shows up when we need to do some soul work before we are ready for the next chapter. It is not a punishment or a delay tactic from the universe. It is actually a gift, an invitation to become so clear and centered in yourself that when opportunities do arise, you will know exactly what is right for you. In terms of whether they will return, The Hermit suggests that there is a period of separation that serves a purpose. Both of you might need to do your own inner work independently before you could come together in a healthy way. This card is also suggesting that the answers you are seeking about this situation are not going to come from outside sources, from other people, or even from them. The answers are going to come from your own inner knowing when you get quiet enough to hear it. The Hierophant showed up, and this is an interesting card in this context because the Hierophant is about tradition, commitment, spiritual wisdom, and sometimes making things official or seeking guidance from a higher authority or established system. When I see the Hierophant in a relationship reading, it often indicates that there is potential for this connection to move into more traditional or committed territory. This could mean that if reconciliation happens, it would not just be a casual getting back together. There would be a desire or need for something more solid, more defined, more committed. The Hierophant can also represent seeking counsel or wisdom about this situation. Maybe you have been talking to friends, family, or even seeking spiritual guidance about what to do. This card validates that seeking outside perspective can be helpful, but it also reminds you that ultimately, you need to find the path that aligns with your own values and truth. What I am really picking up with the Hierophant is that there is a question here about what you actually believe about relationships, love, and commitment. This experience is causing you to examine your beliefs and possibly update them. The Hierophant can indicate that there are traditional expectations or societal pressures playing into your feelings about this situation. Are you wanting them back because you genuinely believe this connection serves your highest good? Or are you influenced by ideas about how relationships should be, fear of being alone, or pressure from others? The Hierophant is asking you to get really honest about what commitment and partnership mean to you personally, not what you think they should mean based on external influences. The Four of Wands came through, and I have to say, when I saw this card, I felt a shift in the energy. The Four of Wands is one of the most positive cards in the deck. It represents celebration, homecoming, stability, harmony, and joyful milestones. In the context of your question, this card is quite hopeful because it suggests that there is potential for a happy outcome, for coming together in celebration, for finding stability and harmony. The Four of Wands often shows up when people are reuniting, when there is reconciliation that leads to joy, or when a relationship reaches a new level of commitment and security. However, I want to be really clear here. The Four of Wands is not guaranteeing that they will return exactly as you hope. What it is showing is that there is potential for celebration and happiness in your future, and that might involve this person, or it might be a celebration of your own growth and the new life you create for yourself. The Four of Wands can also represent creating a sense of home and belonging within yourself, not just with another person. What I find beautiful about this card in your reading is that it is suggesting that no matter which way this unfolds, you are heading toward a period of greater stability and joy. If they return, and it is meant to be, the Four of Wands indicates that it could actually work out in a way that brings you both happiness and security. If they do not return, or if you ultimately choose to fully move on, the Four of Wands promises that you will find your own celebration, your own sense of home and harmony that is not dependent on them. The Nine of Cups appeared, and oh Capricorn, this is called the Wish Fulfillment card. The Nine of Cups is about getting what you desire, emotional satisfaction, contentment, and dreams coming true. When this card shows up, it is generally a very positive sign that what you are hoping for is possible. In the direct context of your question about whether they will return, the Nine of Cups leans toward yes, that reconciliation is possible, that your wish for this connection could be granted. However, and this is important, the Nine of Cups also asks you to be really clear about what you are actually wishing for. Are you wishing for them specifically, or are you wishing for the feeling you think they will give you? Are you clear about what a reunion would actually look like and whether it would truly make you happy? Sometimes we think we know what we want, but the Nine of Cups asks us to examine our wishes more deeply. This card can also indicate that you are about to enter a phase of emotional fulfillment. And again, That might come through this connection or through something else entirely. The Nine of Cups is reminding you that you have the capacity to create your own happiness and satisfaction. You are not dependent on another person to feel emotionally fulfilled. What I am sensing with this card is that the universe is actually preparing to give you what you truly need, which might be exactly what you think you want, or might be something even better that you have not considered yet. The Nine of Cups encourages you to stay open to how your emotional fulfillment might arrive, rather than being fixated on only one possible path to happiness. The Eight of Cups came out, and I will admit, this card gave me pause because it has a very different energy than some of the other cards we have seen. The Eight of Cups is about walking away, leaving behind what no longer serves you, embarking on a spiritual journey, and seeking deeper meaning. This card shows a figure walking away from 8 cups, which represent emotional investments and attachments, to pursue something higher and more meaningful. In your reading, the Eight of Cups is presenting the alternative path, the one where you choose to walk away from this connection and move forward on your own journey. This is not about walking away in bitterness or defeat. The Eight of Cups is a conscious spiritual choice to recognize that something is not fulfilling you the way you need, and to have the courage to leave it behind in search of something more aligned with your soul. What I am getting from this card is that part of you already knows that walking away might be the healthier choice. There is a whisper in your soul that recognizes you deserve more than uncertainty, more than waiting, more than a connection that keeps you in limbo. The Eight of Cups does not appear to punish you or make you feel bad. It appears to empower you, to remind you that you have the strength to choose yourself, to walk toward your own light, even if it means leaving behind something you once cherished. In the context of whether they will return, the Eight of Cups suggests that even if they do come back, you might realize that you have already moved on emotionally and spiritually. This card can indicate that the journey you take during this time of separation transforms you so much that the person or the connection no longer holds the same appeal or importance it once did. The Three of Wands appeared as the final card, and this feels like a very fitting conclusion to your reading. The Three of Wands is about expansion, looking toward the horizon, planning for the future, and having the confidence that your ships are coming in. This card shows someone standing and looking out at the vast ocean, watching and waiting for their ships to return with abundance and opportunity. In your situation, the Three of Wands is telling me that you are in a position of waiting and watching right now, but it is a more empowered position than you might realize. You have planted seeds, you have done the work, and now you are in the phase of watching to see what manifests. The Three of Wands suggests that good things are on the horizon for you, Capricorn. Whether that includes this person or not, opportunities for growth, expansion, and positive development are coming your way. This card encourages you to maintain your vision and hope while also being open to possibilities you might not have anticipated. The Three of Wands can indicate long distance or separation, so it does acknowledge that there is physical or emotional distance between you and this person right now. However, it also suggests that you are not helplessly stuck in that distance. You are actively preparing for your next chapter, consciously choosing your direction and creating the future you want to live. What I love about the Three of Wands as your final card is that it puts the power back in your hands. You are not a passive victim waiting to see what this person decides. You are an active creator of your life, someone who is looking forward with hope and intention, ready to welcome whatever aligns with your highest good. So Capricorn, where does this leave us with your original question about whether they will return or whether you should let go? Here is what I am seeing in the overall energy of this reading. The cards are showing that reconciliation is absolutely possible. There is still genuine connection, still love, still potential for something meaningful to develop between you two. Cards like the Ace of Cups, Two of Cups, Four of Wands, and Nine of Cups all point toward the possibility of a positive reunion. However, and this is really important, the cards are also showing that this is not a simple yes or no situation. The Hanged Man and the Hermit are both indicating that there is a period of waiting, inner work, and perspective shifting that needs to happen. If they are going to return, it is going to happen in divine timing, not on your timeline or theirs. The Ten of Swords showed that something had to completely end in order for transformation to be possible, which means if there is reconciliation, it cannot be a return to what was. It would have to be something new and different, built on more solid ground. The Eight of Cups is also in your reading as a reminder that walking away is a valid and powerful choice. You are not obligated to wait or hope. You have every right to decide that you want to close this chapter and move forward independently. The Three of Wands at the end suggests that regardless of which path you choose, your future is bright and full of possibility. What I am really getting from the overall message of these cards is that the universe is asking you to focus less on whether they will return and more on what you genuinely want for your life and what you are willing to accept in relationships moving forward. The answer to whether you should wait or let go is actually inside you. The cards are not making that decision for you. They are showing you the potential in both directions and asking you to tune into your own inner wisdom, as the Hermit suggested, to know what feels right for your soul. If you choose to remain open to the possibility of them returning, make sure you are doing it from a place of wholeness, not from need or fear of being alone. Use this time to do the inner work. The Hermit and Hanged Man are encouraging. Get so clear in yourself, so connected to your own worth and desires, that if they do come back, you will know immediately whether it is actually right or not. Or, on the other hand, if you choose to consciously walk away, as the Eight of Cups suggests, know that you are choosing yourself, your peace, your growth, and your future happiness. Both paths have beauty, and both paths will lead you to where you need to be. I want you to know that wherever you are in this process, whatever you are feeling, it is valid and it is okay. This is not an easy situation. Matters of the heart rarely are. But you are stronger than you realize, more resilient, more capable of creating the life you want than you might currently believe. The universe is supporting you, guiding you, and preparing something good for your future. Trust yourself, Capricorn. Trust your journey. Trust that you will know what to do when the time comes to make a choice. And know that whether they return or not, you are going to be okay. You are actually going to be more than okay. You are going to thrive. Thank you so much for allowing me to read for you today. I hope this brought you some clarity, some comfort, and some confirmation of what your heart already knows. Take good care of yourself, and remember that your worth is not determined by whether someone chooses to stay or return. Your worth is inherent, unchanging, and absolutely infinite.